Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Strong.
Hi.
I'm Anna. How are you all doing? Enjoying the cold weather?
Yes, I am.
Some people pull out their fur coat.
It ain't that bad. Only in the
So this,
evening.
this man by Babu Shaki somewhere. He had on a fur coat.
And boots. And then Freeport cold.
Yeah, Freeport is always cool. I heard Abaco is too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did y'all have a chance to look at chapter 2?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
And chapter 2 is quite simple.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So we're not doing any reading today. Everybody's
And it's 10
ready to.
members only. Me and know yet.
No, I know. Only two of y'all.
Only two of us today.
Only two persons I see. Only y'all
Oh.
two. Yeah. Guess everybody cold. And I wasn't feeling good. Gee.
Oh.
I had to go take COVID test today where I was feeling sick. I was like, Jesus, don't tell me I have COVID and I be in no place who give me COVID. It's my granddaughter. She's not doing well. So
Oh.
I had to take her to take COVID test too. Because I was
Yeah.
like, child. Because she ain't been to school. I kept her, my daddy kept her from school. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was because the least
What?
little thing is COVID.
Yeah, no child negative. Me, I know. I was so sad for her because, when they have to push that thing in your nose, I scared of it. She, yeah.
It ain't that bad now.
What?
I mean,
It's according to who do it for you.
oh, okay.
Some of them must be so rough. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I done do so much COVID tests. I am tired of taking a COVID test.
I just had to do one Saturday. My daughter had it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and so we had the quarantine. I thank God everybody else negative.
Okay.
I just come out of quarantine
Jesus. Okay.
today.
I know where I work contract. They I must see 3 times I had to go do COVID test because somebody was in contact with somebody who had
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you really have to be careful because you
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, and then people still dying. Jesus, they
Yeah,
say it
I
ain't,
didn't know that. Yeah.
yes, they say it ain't bad, but people still dying.
Yeah. 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 Marshall, Sandy Marshall, you knew her. Hi.
Yes, mom.
Oh, you get the book, Mr. Marshall?
I just recently got it.
Okay, I guess Miguel could. I guess he usually record the video. When we're far, we just on chapter 2, so you'll be fine. But we have to run
Awesome.
today with chapter 2 and start chapter 3 because everybody should have read chapter 2. And I don't want to spend all night talking about reading because we talked about that last class. That every class you should come prepared so we don't have to read. We could just go through it. It's like most of the ones of you who work in the bank. Nowadays banks are not the only one offering financial services. So, yeah. Mr. Marshall, you work at the bank. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Sandy Marshall. I work at the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation.
Uh-huh.
I've been there for about 4 years, going on 5.
Okay.
30 years old. That's pretty much it.
What do you do there?
I'm a senior clerk inside the registry.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So, like I say, most of you would be familiar with the bank because it's just an introduction as to what a bank is. A unique business. It talks about the different types of banks, which we know. Then we know the central bank regulates all financial institutions. We have mergers. We know some banks merge, some insurance company merge. So we have mergers. Technology, we know with ATMs, and now with COVID, most persons working from home, and that's another thing to add for, when it comes to technology, a lot of customers now have to do digital banking, no more. As I know, I went by Fidelity and it was like, oh, no teller, oh, ATM. Yeah, I just went to pick up something. Yeah, yeah. So you have commercial banks, retail banks, mutual savings bank, credit union, investment, insurance, trust companies, and pension. Which most of us, foreign exchange, brokerage firms, competition. And we know now with all in the financial arena, there's a competition going on in every bank. Ms. Roberts, welcome. Sandy. Okay, we'll give them it's just like 2-3 minutes after, so give them some time. So Mona, you at Frederick Street?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So which branches is open?
Wolf
Teleservice.
Road, Wolf Road, Madera Street, and Cable Beach.
Okay. Try to go to one of them tomorrow. Yeah. Y'all got the course outline?
No,
I sent it to y'all. Mr. Marshall, can I get your email? Because I'd have to send it to you.
Sure.
Pardon me?
you said
I said, sure. Let me know when you're ready.
You can go ahead.
It's Sandy, Sandy,
Mm-hmm.
D as in dog,
Mm-hmm.
Marshall with 2 L's at
Mm-hmm.
gmail.com.
I'll send it to you.
okay, I just
After class.
see it now.
Thank you.
Okay. After chapter 3, we're gonna have a quiz. Well, we're gonna have a quiz next class. But I will usually what I do, I don't blindside you, so I give you some review stuff, so you'd be able to look at what I give you to prepare for the quiz. I just have to speak with Miguel because I'll see if I can invigilate it, but most of the time, since we've been doing online classes, he's been doing it. But if he could set me up to do it, I will be doing it. Yeah. Hi, Miss Augustine, Natasha.
Good night.
Good night. You got the course outline from me?
Yes, ma'am. I received the email.
Okay. Miss Bain Roll. Hi. Miss
Hi.
Roll.
Hi.
You got the course outline?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, like I was saying before, you probably signed in. You can have a quiz next class. But like I said, I won't blindside y'all. I will give y'all some insight
Yes, ma'am.
how it will look, yeah.
Okay.
And like I say, usually Miguel, Mr. Pratt does it, but I will see if I can do it. And so I'll be online while y'all do the quiz. And another thing I need y'all to go, I'm gonna send y'all the site that I need y'all to go on, which will help y'all more. Usually, like when we had the class, I used to just do the projector and show, do the video for them. I could ask Miguel, but I'm not sure, but I will give you all the site that y'all could go on, which would better, because sometimes you need to see things to better explain money, because money could be confusing, because you have M0, M1, M2, M3, and so to deal with money, yeah, yeah, because it has a breakdown. You'd see the definition of money, M2, then you'll see the breakdown of M2. Same thing with M1, M0. So it goes on, and you talk about money supply and the definition. Then you have monetary policy, and it gives you the definition, and it also gives you the breakdown of it, which these are the stuff you have to know for the quiz. This is chapter 3 that's going ahead. And then active money tells you what is active money, and it gives you an example of what is actually active money. Yeah. And then you'd have money supply. It gives you the history. It also breaks it down. Then I broke it down where I talk about monetary policy in the Bahamas. I didn't just leave it there. I talk about it here in the Bahamas. So it's good reading. Because maybe some of you may not know. Anybody familiar with money supply, M1, M2, M3, monetary policy?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
No?
Mom.
Welcome, Ms. Thompson. You got the course outline?
Good night. No, ma'am.
I sent it.
I don't
Sure.
think I would have been in the
Okay.
email, would I?
Okay. What's your email then?
Lovely, Lovely,
Lovely
RINGY
RINGY.
at hotmail.com.
Okay. After class, I'll send it to you. And
Thank
like
you.
I was telling the class that we're gonna have a quiz next week from 1 to 3. And I won't blindside you all. I will give you all an insight of how the quiz could look.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone had a chance to read. How much questions here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Time it is 10 after. Had a chance to read chapter 2, right? Except Mr. Marshall, because he just got his book.
Yeah, I haven't read chapter 2 yet.
Okay. As we know, chapter 2 is dealing with what is banking. Can anybody tell me in a nutshell what is banking? Introduction to banking.
You said
Mona?
introduction to
What is
bank.
banking?
Yes. It said introduction
What
to
is a
banking.
bank?
Okay.
Just what do you think is banking when you think about a bank, what image comes to your mind? Do you see a nearby building where people deposit their paycheck?
People
Maybe,
deposit, savings, cash checks, get loans, all that good stuff.
yeah, tellers,
Financial
ATM.
transactions.
Yeah, ATM, cards to
Right.
get cash from the ATM, or bank statements. Many people still, well, most banks now don't deal with the passbook, but back in the days, well, I think still some elderly person still is tell you when they come in the bank, I want my passbook. Mona, did you experience that wise you were on front line where older persons want their passbook updated?
No, ma'am.
No?
But no, but I knew about the passbook, but no.
Okay. Yeah, because you still had some elderly persons who I guess they can't read the bank statement or something. So they tell you they want their book updated. Don't care what you say to them.
Yeah, some
So,
of them, you had to get a sheet of paper when the
mhm,
pages in the passbook ran out and print it on a scrap piece of paper.
yeah. Mhm. Because as far as they're concerned, they ain't worrying about your savvy technology. They want to see you're writing in their book telling them their balance is $1,500, and they come in and they take $200. So they want to see you take off that two and leave them with 1,300. So that's how some people are. A bank is a business. Banks sell their services to earn money, and they market and manage those services in a competitive field. In many ways, banks are like other businesses that must earn a profit to survive. And yes, do you think banks, a lot of people say bank is only in the game for profit. What do you think?
Yeah, because that's how they could, like you say, that's how the bank will survive. You need the profit, because
How do bank make profit?
they make profit of the monies that are deposited
The fees that they charge.
and the fees that they charge.
Yeah, because bank, like I say, banks and businesses, banks especially, insurance companies, credit union, they make money by offering loans, personal mortgage. They charge you fees on term savings accounts, checking accounts, so you pay different fees. If your balance is below a certain amount, you pay a certain amount of fees. If your account is dormant, you have to pay fees. Some people say, oh, I put $100, I gone back to that bank and all my money was gone. The account was dormant. So every month or every 3 months is just a reoccurring charge. And if you don't keep 500 in your account or something, at certain banks, you charge a service fee like $3 and something. Banks also make money, like say from ATM. You pay government stamp tax, which goes to the government, and then you pay a service charge to the bank. But also, if you bank at a Commonwealth Bank and you go to a Fidelity Bank to take money out, through the Cyrus, the Visa Cyrus on the back, or MasterCard, you have to pay a charge. When you get the first thing they telling you have to pay that charge. When you're going to go take that money out, they tell you have to pay a charge. So you're going to pay that charge for using another institution ATM. And a lot of people don't know that, so when they go to say, they bank at a Fidelity, and they go to Royal Bank, and they be like, well, what is $2 and something cents coming off my account? What is this all about? They don't realize that bank, you're using their machine, their service. So they're charging you for using their service instead of going to your bank. Yeah. So you charge that. Then bank make money. So checking accounts, because like checking accounts where, like I say, if you have a NSF check or they have to return a check, it used to be $28, but since VAT gone, then I think it's 27 something now, since VAT went down, but you have to pay that. And then even so, if you put the money there and the bank actually pay the check, you're still paying, I know it's $5 and something anymore, but it's $5. It used to be $5.60 or something like that. You have to pay for them actually paying the check, which hit NSF. So bank make their money from service charges if you come into the bank, you open a ASU savings, some banks call it a Christmas club, and you want to withdraw money from it, and it's not the time, you charge a penalty for doing it. Same thing with a fixed deposit. If you open a fixed deposit with a bank and you say, well, okay, I run in hard times, I really need to withdraw, I really need to close this fixed deposit, there's a charge for that also. And sometimes they don't give you the interest back. The interest is taken, is according to how long you had the deposit on. They may give you some of it, but then you won't get the full interest because you didn't go to the full term. So they still take money back from you. So banks have innovative ways of making money. And most of them, like you in the media, like last year, all you were hearing but them talking about how the bank is just robbing people with these different charges. Because some banks, to cash a check to their bank, you had to pay. I remember I went to First Caribbean to cash a check for a customer of theirs paid to me, and the lady, the teller said, "Oh, miss, you have to pay. I think it was $5 or $10." I say, "I have to pay you to cash a check, which is your customer check." She said, "Yes, ma'am." And then Royal was doing the same thing, and even with Royal, if you're going to make a deposit to another customer account, you have to pay to make that deposit to their account. So banks make a lot of their money on charges. Persons who got mortgages, interest, the bank, the first thing comes out before your principal is ever paid is the interest. So bank make money off the interest. Then you have administration fees when you get a loan, a personal loan, a mortgage loan, a cash collateral loan, you have to pay fees. So bank make money from their fees. So you're paying administration fees, you're paying interest fees, and it's a lot of stuff you pay. Government make money too, because all these loans that the bank write, government get government stamp tax from them. So it's the same thing. So government make money, banks make money. So, and a lot of times, like I say, a lot of times people don't understand when we talked about when people rewrite loans, you paid that administration fees before, and now because you want to rewrite, you're still paying the government some fees too. Mona, has that changed or is it the same? It's still, if they rewrite a loan, do they still pay administration fees?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, but banks make their money, and it is what it is. And like I say, we just have more than banks because we have other companies entering the field. We talked about it, Easy Turn, Auto H&L, Greenleaf. We have Omni Flash Cash. All of them, they give cash and go. They're in the business now, lending money. So insurance companies, they do the same. So everybody charge a fee. So companies makes money from fees that they charge, interest that they charge, because who is going to go into a business and not make a profit? I don't think anybody would want to be in a business and not making a profit. Oh, what? Mr. Ferguson, you received the email with the course outline? Yes. Right. A unique business. Anyone wants to tell me why they call it a unique business?
No, ma'am, I don't think I received that email.
Okay, I sent it. Give me your email address because you might not have been on that too, Okay.
The email address is Byron Ferguson. Oh,
hold on.
Byron Ferguson, BYRON.
BYRON.
Ferguson at hotmail.com.
Okay, I'll send it to you right after class. And
Okay,
like I was
thank you.
telling the class earlier, that we're going to have a quiz from chapter 1 to 3 next week. And I will ensure that you get the material on which you can review for the
Okay,
quiz.
I apologize for last week.
Yeah,
I left my headset at work.
Yeah, I heard, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, yeah, okay. So anybody want to tell me a unique business?
Because they,
It's
they deal mainly with handling monies and not any other business.
Mhm. Mona, anybody else?
well, he basically said what I was going to say.
Okay.
And certain stuff, if it has value, it can be exchanged to get money.
Mhm.
Like how the Roman soldiers were paid in salt.
Mhm.
So I guess like I was have certain values, certain stuff have value that you can exchange for money back in those
Yeah.
days, I guess.
You don't think people still do the same thing now?
Depends.
I see guys.
Like how
Mhm.
like how they would have mentioned insurance. In some financial institutes you could borrow funds against your policy. Hello?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, you can borrow, get a loan against your life insurance policy and some policy that has cash values. So you can even borrow against your cash values. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they do that. And like they have some guys today, they exchange, they may not exchange it for money, but they now, you'd see sometime in the papers, you see, oh, I would exchange a 2014 Honda for a 2015 CRV Jeep or something like that. So they do stuff like that also. It's an exchange, may not be money, cash money, but it's money worth. Yeah. Anybody else? What does money do?
Money helps you buy stuff.
Yeah. The
Um,
word
money is
salary. Go ahead.
I was gonna read. I say money isn't it. Money is a medium of exchange and agreed upon system for measuring value of goods and services.
Yeah. And money also shows how much something is worth, whether it's a stereo or 2 hours of your labor. When you have money, a bank can act as your agent. And as we know, if you have money, like I say, a lot of times, we'd find that the richer folks, they negotiate. The poor folks, they accept what the bank say to them. Oh, we could only give you 3%. Richer persons, they be like, you want my money? I want 4%. And they negotiate. We don't. We'll sit there and accept, just like with a mortgage loan or a personal loan, before we negotiate whatever the bank's customer agent say to us, we be like, okay. We never question as to, okay, why I can't get, why you giving me this rate? Why I can't get this rate? I went, and what we don't do, we don't shop around. See, when you shop around with different banks, you're able to go, even though you may want to put your money in a particular bank, but when you shop around, you're able to go right back to that particular bank and say, you know, you're willing to give me this, but XYZ willing to pay me this. What do you say? I've been a customer for a long time here. If I can get it better there, I will just move my money. And you know, if somebody have like $2 million in your bank and you don't want to offer them what another bank is offering them, what they do, they take the money and take it to another bank. And that's why I say the richer persons negotiate. Us, we don't. Even if you put them a little 100,000, you should be able to negotiate. Even if a 1/4%, a 0.5%. Okay, y'all want to give me 2%. I want 2.5%. Banks nowadays, some banks are liquid, like we talked last week. Some banks are liquid, so they don't need your money. But banks that are really, who really give a lot of loans, they need your money. So you be like, okay, You say 2, but I want 2.5. And a lot of times you would find that the manager would say, okay, I have to escalate it. I have to, and you could get a preferred rate. But we don't do that. We settle. But persons who have money, they don't settle. They say right off the bat, I have 2 million with you. You don't want to give me what I want. Well, Scotiabank will give me that. So prepare me a check. I will take my money to Scotia. What you as a banker need that money, want that money, what are you going to do? Because you need to keep the liquid. Like we know I know working at the bank, 15% reserves is required by the central bank. So I would, you would be like, okay, we got to keep this. We can't let this, you know what it is to see $2 million fly out the bank and you given these loans every day. No, you don't want that. So, because people don't understand, banks use customers' money to give loans. Banks use deposits to give loans. So that's the reason why the bank pays interest to customers, and customers who get loans pay interest to the bank. So sometimes you just need to negotiate. And like I say, we don't do that. Anything else you want to contribute to the uniqueness of business? Banks being a uniqueness of business? Remember, bank also safeguards, transfer, exchange, or lend money. Banks also do foreign exchange. They get money from that also. Just like how you'd have like the money transfer companies, they earn money. That's where they earn their money from too. They, like I say, only flash cash. They give personal loans, and they also customers sending money all the time. So when they send, those companies earn money from just the service fees they charge, Mr. Marshall, anything to add to that?
Not really. I think you covered every aspect of it.
Okay.
They also
Mhm.
have a lot of assets too.
Yeah. Yeah, banks do. Because remember, banks invest in bonds. Banks, they have to have the asset. They have to always be liquid, because as a bank, you get customers deposit. You don't know when a customer could come and say, I need my money. Short notice. So you have to always have asset and have liquid, because customers could come at any time and say, I have an emergency and I need money. And like we know, if the bank don't have it, like I told the class, I've never seen where the bank had to depend on central bank as being the lender of last resort. I've never seen that. So it may happen, but I've never heard of it. Yeah. So they'll have to be going to central bank. And I also talked about when Gulf Union Bank closed down with all the people money, and that's how the deposit insurance came to be. Yeah, because the customers, the depositors had no protection. So a lot of persons lost their money. But now with the deposit insurance, I'm not sure if it went up, but it was at 50,000. So you could have $1 million in the bank, you enjoy it for 50,000. So that's why a lot of persons have accounts at different banks. Different banks, instead of placing all their money one place, they put it in different banks. And then you have a lot of persons who put their money abroad, because I think abroad is like 100 or 150,000 that the deposit insurance covers.
So, Ms. Smith, I don't, even if it come to the point where a central bank of this is another bank, I don't think that's something the government would want people to know.
I don't think so either. It's time to close that bank down.
Right.
Because they may get the customers' money, and you try to tell me we're doing people money. You give
Right.
loans, so you should make sure you get enough interest back, and you should make sure, that's why they have to do a liquidity report every day to go to central bank or banks. A liquidity report is done every morning that goes to central bank, yeah, so they have to do that. And then a liquidity report, I know where I used to work, has to be done for management to look at also, so, yeah. Yeah, both companies where I worked, I know that's what had to happen. Types of banks. Miss Roberts,
Hi.
can you expand on that? The types of banks. What types of banks?
Um, the types of banks, well, you have the central banks, who provide the basic guidelines for other regular banks. You have, what other banks you have? You have two different banks, depository banks and then non-depository banks. Depository banks would be your regular banking, like commercial banks, retail banks, credit unions. And depository banks are basically banks that would be in business based on using other person's monies to lend, whereas non-deposit banks go off of policies and selling services.
Okay. Okay. When I was saying types of banks, you see, yeah, you went on, you broke them down. Actually, many businesses are involved in the financial service. If you consider the definition of banks to be business that safeguard transfers, exchange, lends money, many firms might qualify because, like we just talked about, a lot of people lending money. Easy Term, Auto H&L, Greenleaf, Cash and Go, Omni Flash Cash, they all lend money. So certainly banks perform these roles, but so do trust companies, insurance companies, stockbrokers, investment bankers, and other companies, especially since in the US banks were deregulated in the 1980s. The line between pure banking and other providers of financial and investment service has grown frizzy. Banks provide a multitude of financial services of many types beyond the traditional practice of holding deposits and lending money. As a consequence, not only has a bank charged considerably, so has people who work in the banking world. So changed considerably. Yes, and in the banking world, like we know before, it wasn't so much. We had our little trust company, our little private banking, but now it has really evolved. And so we have a Royal Fidelity, we have a CFAL, we have insurance companies doing investment. All of them doing same services that the banks would give. Insurance company do the same thing. I saw the other day, CFAL is advertising that you can come and open a Christmas savings with them. They had it in the papers, put $100 a month, and you at the end of the year you get your $1,200. So I was surprised. I was like, what? An investment institution is offering this. So CFAL, they're offering a Christmas savings where you put $100, start January. I think it closed on January 24th. I'm not sure if they would still allow persons to sign up, but yeah, they had it in the papers and had a breakdown of it. Yeah, you put it in and you at December you can either roll it over and invest it, or you can just take it out. Yeah. And like we say, the central bank, we talked about the central bank being, it regulates all the financial institution. And the central bank is not just there for the institution, it's there for the customers. So it protects both the money supply and the bank themselves. Central bank serves as the government bank. Central bank issue currencies and conduct monetary policies. In the US, the Federal Reserve is known as the central bank. It performs the type of services the central bank would perform. And so, like with anything, the central bank is, they call it the watchdog. The central bank watches over it. And we know with the central bank, you have reports that has to be sent to the central bank at a certain, either bank supervision, has to be sent there on a regular basis every month. I think it's some reports are due on the 15th, some reports are due weekly. And if this is not done, the central bank earn their money too, you know, they get money back, because if you don't submit your report when it should be, you're fine. And if you submit a report to the central bank and there are discrepancies and you're at fault, like you miss and put 10 when it should have been 20 with your addition and your formulas out of whack, well, I guess some of the pages they have the formula is formula driven, but if you and guess what? If you send them 10 forms, all them 10 forms come together and make one. So it has to agree straight across. So if you make an error at the end of the day on the last form that compiles everything, central bank picks that up and they brings that to your attention to show you that, hey, you made an error, and they could show you and you're fine. Sometimes you get fined $250 a day. And if it's not corrected, and if you didn't pick it up and correct it, or by you picking it up and they have to come and tell you, sometimes they could take 10 days and don't tell you. And if you didn't pick it up, $250 a day the institution have to pay. Central bank also makes their money too, because you have, like, at the end of every year, excuse me, at the end of every year, at the beginning, I guess some people close off their financials in December, some in September. And if you don't upload their financial at a certain time, you're penalized again. Excuse me, gotta get some water, excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, but the central bank makes their money too, as you know too. After a certain period of time, with dormant accounts, every year dormant accounts, cheated accounts go after 7 years. They call them as cheated accounts. They go to the central bank, and the central bank hold them. But now I realize that they were now using the money that people didn't come to collect. Some people don't even know their accounts are dormant. So because they have so much money, like I told the class before, I know this guy where I work at another institution. He had must see 400,000 in dormant accounts. I called him and I said, "Oh, Mr. So and so, you know you have these accounts and they're dormant, and if you don't come to activate them, eventually they get sent to the central bank." The gentleman tell me, say he forget those accounts. You think any one of you could forget about $400,000 in the bank?
Definitely not at all.
Mr. Pickstock, did you? Oh, your email came back to me, so you would have gotten it. The course outline.
Yes, I'm received it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Anybody want to talk about mergers? Mr. Pickstock? What happened to y'all tonight? And y'all say y'all read? Hello?
Okay, so when mergers happen, um, banks grow larger, but then they decrease as well.
What
Meaning
happened to
that
staff?
the locations decrease. What happened to the
Staff.
well, this didn't mention anything about staff.
No, but on your take, if somebody
On my
merged.
take, and normally when institutes sell a company, sometimes inside of the contract they would state well to carry the staff over as well and not to let go anyone.
Some, and then
Right.
remember too, with mergers, I know of a company that merged. It was an offshore company. They merged, and when they merged, the company who bought the other company, they kept their HR person. So the HR person from the bank that they purchased was let go. They kept they let their operations person go. So the person from the bank that they were buying, they kept her. So yes, some people get let go, even though at the end of the day, they may sign something and say, okay, we're not gonna let anybody go. But further
Right.
down the line, they realize that we're two persons doing the same thing, getting the same result. Why do we need both of them? So they choose out of the two. And I guess they look at tenure and all of that. And or they, with some companies, they frustrate you, so you get mad and you leave. So it is what it is. But with anything, when a merger happens in any companies, some people will get let go. Some will be kept, but at the end of the day, when reality really come into play, you can't have two persons doing the same job. We merge into
Right.
one company. We don't have enough business, even though the merger took place. We don't have enough business to say, okay, we can keep both of you. Both of
Right.
you, maybe one of you probably ain't doing nothing. You're just
Right.
sitting there with public service. And the lady who in charge of that say they have persons doing nothing, getting paid and sitting at home and doing nothing. Then they have persons who are not fitted in. They're doing accounting, but they have no inkling of what is all involved. They should be doing typing. So people are not fitting in the position that they should be in. So with mergers, that happens too.
Okay.
Anybody else wanna add 2 cents?
Well, my company was actually a part of a merge.
Mhm.
It took place because my contract was changed over from this company to that company. A lot of changes came into
Mhm.
play. The staff never decreased though. The staff remained the same.
Okay, that's
But
good.
it I understand now. It's
Mhm.
basically the company buying out the company. This particular company saw interest in what we were doing. We
Mhm.
just don't really just deal with the First Caribbean. We also do other things called smart safes. And so the
Okay.
company saw an interest and they bought it. When companies bought it, they also upgraded.
Mhm.
Whereby companies also upgraded too when they merged. They
Mhm.
upgraded, so they gave us our number trucks and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of understand the sense of merging. But
Oh,
I
say.
don't wouldn't
Mhm.
would recommend other people to merge because that's like you entirely giving away everything you didn't work hard for. But
Yeah.
that's what I kind of understand about it.
Okay, so you deal with the smart safe.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a chance to see what that looks like. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of good. Yeah, the smart safe.
Yes, ma'am.
It's good. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Technology. We all know that in the times that we're in now, globally around the world, technology had to change. Especially, it's changed long time ago, but right now, even in the banking arena, we know technology is the number one thing now because people have to work remote in businesses anyhow. You have to work remote because hey, and to work remote, that's technology. You have to have good technology in place. You have to have good internet at home, and you have to pray and hope that Mr. BPL don't turn off or Mr. Internet don't turn off. So yeah, technology has come far, and in every aspect of our business, banking, we need technology. Technology, as with many in industries, technology has changed everything. Perhaps no business has been more affected by the growth of computers and technology and telecommunication than banking. Not only have accounting, auditing, and examining functions been taken over by fast and efficient technology, fund transfer, record keeping, and financial analysts as have been instantaneous because of powerful tools now available. Like which bank? Scotia Bank. They tell you can't. Scotia Bank here today. I'm trying to remember who Scotia. Miss Natasha.
Yes, ma'am.
You Scotia, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What amount y'all do y'all still do teletransactions?
Only a
Like
few of the
customers.
branches.
Uh-huh.
Only a few of the branches still do cash. Most of them are cashless.
Whoa. What about a main branch?
Main branch, they're cashless.
So you have to go
They
to the
don't.
ATM.
Yes, ma'am. You have to go to the smart machine.
Well, that's what it's called now, the smart machine. Okay. So what happened to the tellers, the customer service reps that were there?
They're still there. I guess their roles were changed a bit. Probably
Uh-huh.
have more back office duties now.
Okay, but no more telefunction as such giving cash.
No, ma'am, not at main branch.
Okay, and I know they said Palmdale and
Yeah,
Jerome Avenue.
Palmdale is cashless too.
Palmdale and Jerome
Yeah.
Avenue is supposed to close, or was supposed.
Palmdale is closing. Jerome Avenue will be a loan center.
Oh, okay, all right. That's how it was before, I thought. Okay, but like I say, in most banks now, that's what they're doing. So no more face to face. You only okay with the loan center at Scotia in Jerome. That will be face to face though, making appointments, coming to see a loan officer, or everything will still be having to do everything online.
That should be face to face because you're coming
Okay.
and opening up loans and stuff. It's just with the cash.
Okay.
Some branches don't do no cash transactions.
Okay. And then like a lot of y'all still on that reduced hours.
Yes, ma'am. 9 to 1.
Okay, because I know customers were complaining about that, saying central bank needed to get involved because how could banks, they already cut out Saturday banking, how could they cut out, they decreased their hours, yeah. Because, a lot of people, even though we may say ATM, still we have persons who want go into the bank, get these different transactions done. Yeah, so, yeah, but ATM is now, they're all over. So you're able to go into the gas.
Yeah, with the ATMs,
Mhm.
when you make the deposit with the smart machines, it's credited to your account right away. You have
It
access to the
does?
funds right there. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that is great. Mona, does that happen at Fidelity?
No, ma'am, we clear the ATM first thing in the morning. And we clear at 3 o'clock. I mean, not 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock before we leave.
Okay, so what are y'all hours now? Still 3:30?
3 o'clock, 9 to 3.
9 to 3. So if I make a deposit in the ATM, like 7 o'clock in the morning,
Mm,
when will that be captured?
say about roughly 10 o'clock, because the bank open up 9:30. We go into the ATM and then we process them. So give and take, I'd say by 10, 15
It will be deposited
on
to
your
my
account.
account.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but Miss Natasha, you said that your smart machine is the minute I put that money there, it hit my account. That's good.
Yes, ma'am, and any notes that I guess it don't register or
Mhm.
I guess it's too, it's not too crispy.
Yeah,
It'll
because
spit it
sometimes
out.
or it goes in the reject bin or something.
No, it
No,
comes right back out to you.
to you.
Yeah.
So if you have a little old mashup $1, $20 bill of juice, I'd sitting somewhere and try pushing that in there, it ain't gonna take it.
Yeah, I experienced it before. I'm not sure why, but it kept coming back out. And then another
Uh-huh.
time it was because it was US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it won't accept the US?
No, it doesn't accept. The last I tried,
Mhm.
it wasn't accepting the US. I didn't try again.
Because it's,
I think there's certain machines that actually do accept the US.
Mhm.
Not all of them accept US, but some of them do. I think
Okay.
Thompson Boulevard has one that, not all of them, but one or two of them that actually does accept US.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And then we know too now with the debit card, the smart card, ATM smart card, the debit cards now, they have the prepaid Visa. I don't use the debit card anymore. I have a debit card. I'm ready. I have to remember to close that out. I just use my prepaid Visa because my prepaid Visa is just acts just like the debit card. But on my prepaid Visa, I get points. So I could save up my points, put everything I buy, and I could buy stuff. So I don't use the debit card anymore. I use the prepaid Visa, and at the end of every month, I get, or I think it's every month or every 3 months, I get a statement saying with how much points I have. So, and the debit card, like I said before, if I use the debit card on someone use my card, I have to wait so long to get my money back because they have to investigate fraud to make sure they ain't me trying to fraud the bank. But if with my prepaid Visa, if someone tries to or use my card, Visa will give me my money back and they will on the other end investigate. But with the debit card, because it's your money, it takes, I know last time, and I worked there, it was, let's see, 6 weeks. I was like, where my money? And I was in $2. Somebody take off my card. That was over $700 they took. I just sat at the desk and all I hear is bing, bing, bing. Say, but I ain't using my card. That's right, my card was being used in Europe. I was like, what is this? Yeah. And so I had to wait to get my money back. But now that's why I don't use the debit card anymore. I use the prepaid Visa because Visa has everything insured. So I will get my money back right away. Yeah. And they will follow up on their end. Okay. Depository intermediaries. Who wants to talk about that? I've been talking now. We talk. All y'all read. So Mr. Bexar?
Okay, so basically, um, the overall it is just explaining about institutions that safeguard your money.
Mhm.
So whether you want to make transfers or whether you want to hold deposits or any non-depository services that you need, they offer it to you. Now, I don't know of any institution
Mhm.
practically that offers that. Well, I would say our Smart Safe is a depository kind of way because
Mhm.
what the service is that we put a machine in your store. Um,
Mhm.
put the machine, your smart safe machine in your store. You insert money in it, and it is accredited to your account the next day. So that's what I can say. That is a way of a depository intermediaries.
Mhm.
And once your cassettes is full, or you want, and when your date for pickup is, it is brought
Mhm.
to me, the teller, and I verify the cassette to make sure that's correct to what you say.
So it
So I
comes to
guess that's
you, it comes to your institution.
yes, ma'am.
I always wondered where it went. Yeah, because like I say, I now have some experience where I see it. So I wondered where it went. Who deals with all of that? Okay, so it's now clearer for me that there is a face. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They're good though. I like them because the only thing I wonder um if there's a robbery, can someone actually break in them?
Yes, we had a recent robbery with Sun Transfer. They
Mm-hmm.
broke into the factory office and they took the cassette. So once now the thing is we lose on that because that money was supposed to come to us. The Sun Transfer don't really lose because they already got their money that morning. So once they took that, then that's a loss on our side. But yeah, you can actually take the cassettes, and I believe they took it and destroyed them. So you could actually take the money out of them. It's safe though. It's safe. It had to been an inside job, to be
You
honest,
think?
because yeah, so you need fingerprinting and all that kind of stuff in order to get access to the ball. So I think we believe that it was an inside job, but
You
no,
think
no.
so?
So
That's the one on Frederick Street where Island Luck was.
yeah, we all believe that's an inside job because when I went and actually looked at the machines myself to see what the
Uh-huh.
IT person did. It had to be an inside job because you need fingerprinting and typing on the screen, all that kind of stuff to get that thing open.
I
But
know because, like I say, now remember that's where I work. I work there. I do contract job for them, and I didn't know about it until recently. I was mentioned to me, and I was like, okay. That's why I'm asking if you could. I never even knew that happened. Yeah, but I'm saying I was asking if you could because I look at it and me because like I say I am the contracted auditor for that company. So I looked at it and I tried to put a program together. And that's why I was wondering if you can actually gain access to it other than you having, I guess, codes or whatever they do when they go to load money. I wondered if you could actually break in them, like how the ATM is. I wondered because the ATM have cassettes too, so I wondered if you could actually break in them. Yeah, yeah,
now you could break in the
yeah.
cassettes, but in order to get into the thing, I don't think you could break into that because that is a very,
That's what I
very
was
heavy.
wondering. That's what I was wondering. You could get into the
So
cassette, but I mean actually getting into the machine because it looks so secure.
but yeah, the machine is
Yeah.
very, very metal. I don't think you get in the machine. That's why we said to put an inside job. So
They could say that
that's
to me. David, you tell me that, and somebody just whispered that in my ears, and I was like, oh, because I contracted auditor, so I'm like,
yeah. No,
okay, okay, yeah, because I look at it and
that's what
I was so impressed. I was like, I've never seen this before. This is so awesome. Yeah, I said that's
yes,
a good way for safeguarding cash. I always have
it
old
is.
treasury and money stuck in treasury and all of this and all of that. So I say that is such a good way to, put money in. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is one of the services that we do offer, and so they do in this section where it says they earn their money selling a specific service and policy. We do offer that
Mm,
service, so we do earn
yeah.
money from that as well as putting a
Mhm.
safe in. So once you put that safe in there, you pay a fee for that, and also
Oh,
we have
you
armor
also pay
trucks
a
and we pay
fee, right?
yeah
Because
for armor. Yes, ma'am.
I know I see the fellas, I see them coming with them gun. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm.
So
Okay, that's good.
that's a
And
lot.
you say this was a part of First Caribbean?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all was
It's
the
about the
first.
first card.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Like I say, it's a good thing for a lot of people to invest in. Yeah, businesses, I think that's a good thing to invest in. Yeah, looking at it, like I say, I didn't know the full dynamics of how it worked, but yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but is it really? You have a lot of traffic?
Yes, we do. We have currently we have about 8 customers, and one of our bigger customers has at least 10 locations, and so it's 2% per location. So let's say I process them on Sundays, so I have a total of about 14 safes equaling to 24 cassettes to process on a Sunday. So it do be heavy traffic sometimes. On a one day we don't have a lot of customers. On Sunday we don't. It's depending on that scheduled pickup, but yes, it do be a lot of traffic on certain days.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything to add to that? And like I said, there are 4 main types of the depository institution, and they list them. You see commercial banks. We all know commercial banks deal on a heavier level, like they give commercial loans. They deal with a lot of business accounts. So yeah, commercial banks like a Royal Bank, they have them big business customer, a First Caribbean. Because sometimes, like I even see when I worked at Fidelity, some customers who come there with their 10 piles of checks and they just making deposit, they just deposit. And then only 2 tellers there, and you waiting forever. There's one particular customer, he's a business customer. And you be waiting there forever. It's less money, it could be finished. Yeah, so, but with the commercial banks, they have like a lot of times people go to the cash cage to do their transaction. Anyone who work like a Scotia Bank, y'all have a cash cage, right? Natasha?
I can't answer that. I've never worked in the branch.
Okay, who else worked? Denise, which bank
Yes,
you work
ma'am.
to? Which bank you work to?
I'm at Scotia.
Right. So do y'all have do y'all have a cash cage where I know Royal Bank, because a lot of times when I used to go into Royal main branch, you'd see persons going through the door and going to the cash cage instead of joining the teller line to hold it up. So they go to the cash cage and make their
They have
deposit for businesses. Yeah.
they have a business line, a cash cage per se. They have them.
Okay.
I don't know that. Yeah, they have them. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
They have them.
Okay. And remember with commercial banks, just like any other banks now, offering checking and savings accounts, credit card, investment services, all of them offer somewhat similar, the same products and services. Yeah. And like we know with credit card, every bank now has their own credit card. Yeah. Anyone works the Commonwealth Bank? No way. Yeah. Because I wanted to know, the ATMs, Commonwealth Bank ATMs, that anyone can go to them and do a withdrawal from it? I didn't know, because I was by one and I needed to get money, but I was scared. I didn't know, because I know most banks that have the Visa, the Cyrus on the back of it, you should
I don't think Commonwealth could do that. I
okay.
tried before. I had to write it under RBC.
Okay, so they can't. Yeah, because they offer their own Master and Visa card. Yeah, they do. And then too, like we know with all banks, one of the biggest distinction between commercial banks and other depository institution is that commercial banks are owned by stockholders who expect profit on their investment. So, like with any banks, because all banks have stockholders, shareholders, and like say a Fidelity Bank, they offer they have shares, so stocks, and their shares are like I said the last time I looked in the paper, it was $14.91 compared to when it was $2.37. It has grown, I guess, too, because Fidelity is almost in competition with Commonwealth Bank, so they're one of the leading personal loan lenders. Yeah, so them and Commonwealth, yeah, Bank of the Bahamas and all the rest. And like I said, Scotiabank don't really need, so they don't really worry too much. But whether they get some of the market of personal loans, they don't worry too much. Then we have retail banks. Ms. Strawn, any take on retail banks? Hi. Anyone else can elaborate on, from your reading, retail banks?
I would say that retail banks specialize in helping you save your monies and also look for bonds and investments for you to double your money or invest in.
Yes, like retail bank, like say the credit union. The credit union, mutual savings bank, savings and loans and credit union. Like we know with the credit union, like we spoke last week, the credit union, you get shares, you can, and for their I guess their members, you can, before they used to have these ads going on where you can put up 5 and get 10 back and stuff like that. So yeah, and they have people save. And now the credit union is also in the market of giving mortgage loans, doing everything, investment, doing everything that the other financial institution do. And I just can't remember. I think the credit union should be regulated now by central bank, because I know they were trying to get them under regulations, because I don't think they were before, but I think they're now regulated. So a lot of persons here say, Ms. Strawn, and you worked at the credit union?
No, ma'am, Bahamas
Where you
mortgage.
work? Oh, you work Bahamas Mortgage. Well, let me show you all the way to mortgage, Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
What's three of y'all at?
4.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, with the credit union, I remember a lot of times, with the credit union, people just, they didn't want to go to school. I could say that's the number one thing. I was on a board and they were saying that was an issue. And I think with the central bank regulating them, a lot of people had to go back to school because, they just stuck in their ways. And so they had to go back to school. And people tell you, and they come into school to say, tell me I had to come. And a lot of persons had to do it because they were just there doing the same old thing and not upgrading themselves. Yeah. So whether we believe it or not, the time is now to, and as I say to you, continue, do not stop. Sometimes it seems hard to, and now it's even better because you don't have to be a rush to the class. I mean, you got to get home or, but you don't have to rush to say, I got to be there, I got to get to this classroom and stuff like that. Because even after the class, Miguel has it recorded. So,
Excuse
so
me, Ms. Smith. With the central bank, and them, other financial institutions being supported by them, I know that you said that the credit union would now be regulated, or they're trying to have them regulated.
Yeah, I think they because at one point they were just out there on their own.
Do financial institutions have to be bringing in certain amount of money to be regulated by the central bank? I mean, if they're lending funds or holding monies or acting as a depository bank, there's a standard for the central bank to support them?
When you say standard to support, you mean to regulate, go out and do inspections on them? Yes,
Right.
the central bank do that for every 2 years, I think they go out and I guess if it's warranted that, hey, this bank or this institution really, like, remember Bank of the Bahamas, how they was always in the battle with central bank and the back and forward, and central bank, how y'all didn't pick this up, and these the bunch of delinquent loans, and yeah, so they was in a battle back and forth with central bank. So their bank supervisions, their inspection team will go out and supposed to do inspections on the total portfolio, like loans and non-performing and deposits and all of that. The central bank goes out and they do that. I know when I worked at the other two institutions, they would come out every 2 years and they would either look at the non-performing loans, they look at the trust company. When we had Royal Fidelity there, so central bank comes out and do that. And as I say, I don't think the credit union was, but I think they are now. And even like people don't understand, even like you see these little Western Union and Sun Transfer, MoneyGram, and Omni, and all of those, they have reports that they have to send to central bank too. Central bank regulates them too. Yeah. Central bank regulates those little companies that I don't know about Greenleaf and all the rest, but I'm thinking they also have to fall under some umbrella of regulation with the central bank. But I will look into that. I can make a note to ask whether they or I can go on this online to see if they regulate these companies. The central bank plays a big role. Mutual savings. Anybody want to talk about what that's all about? Man, we talk, y'all was supposed to read. Y'all have me talking. Boring.
Okay. Mutual savings banks. They receive deposits primarily from individuals, and they concentrate also on private real estate mortgages. They are owned by depositors as well. These state-chartered banks are sometimes granted greater powers with regard to assets and liabilities than anything else, but usually not as much as those of commercial banks. They are regulated and protected by the state or the government, and it's not necessarily true of non-depository intermediaries. Say that for me, please. Intermediaries. That's it. Yes.
Like we say with mutual savings, it's just like a savings and loans bank. And before I remember, we had First Home. First Home, they used to call that a savings and loans bank, because First Home used to have deposits, give loans. Yeah, that was First Home. They call them savings and loans bank. Yeah. Like we know with the credit union.
The credit union.
Credit union is usually members.
Yes, right, members. And it's a non-profit. Whatever monies they make, they share with their share. It is given in dividends to their members. And it's based mainly on deposits. There is a depository intermediary.
And like they also say too with the credit union, they reduce fees for services or give low loan rates. I don't know what the rates are for loans, but I know that before the credit union used to give good rates. Teachers salaries and workers credit union, they used to give good rates on fixed deposit. Boy, since the interest rate hit rock bottom, they don't anymore. I was surprised when somebody said, "No, girl, you could only get 1 point something." I say, "Huh?
It really changed a whole lot.
Yeah, the credit unions seem to have changed a lot. And like I said, they offer a lot of the same services that banks do. They offer the same services. They do investment, they do savings, they do term deposit, they do loans, they offer the same thing. And now with some credit union, you don't have to be a member. Like say you go in there to get a mortgage loan because you call and say, I want to open a savings account or I want to open a term deposit. They want that money. And like I say, with any institution that give loans, they need the depositors' money to be able to grant loans. So they borrow the depositors' money to give loans. So they pay an interest to the depositors and customers getting loans pay an interest
I'm a part of the Bahamas Law
to the
Enforcement.
banks, to the credit union, to the banks. Yeah. Pardon me?
Part of the Bahamas Law Enforcement Credit Union. They only do mortgages. If you have 3 times the amount saved.
Okay.
And that's what qualifies you. And mainly, they always require that you have a certain amount of money on your account before they.
Okay.
Secured by.
Before they'll give you that
Yes.
dollars. They'll need that money. Yeah. Okay. Now we have non-depository. Which are they? Investment banks and companies. Anybody want to elaborate? Remember, we had this conversation that y'all need to participate. I've been talking. I need to hear from y'all now, please. All those persons who read, Miss Thompson, Miss Roll.
As the name suggests, non-depository intermediaries don't take deposits. Instead, they perform other financial services and collect fees from them as their primary means of business. In many cases, these institutes are private companies. Although they may be regulated by the government, they are usually not backed up or protected by the government. So I would say that these are people who act as a private company.
Okay, like the insurance company.
Right. And like they would have mentioned that they do not take deposits.
Right. Like an investment bank and investment banks and companies. Investment. Name some investment companies that you know right here in the Bahamas.
Is CFA one of those?
Yeah, they raise
Yes.
capital. You remember? You'd see sometimes that, okay, I saw something in the papers yesterday with RF wanting to raise some, was it 50 million? Can't remember, but they were talking about, so they like with the bridge or with the port, what they just doing, they put it out there to the public. And sometimes you'd hear them say we were oversubscribed, too much people, bid, try to get shares, get a part of it, invest in it. So they were oversubscribed, stuff like that. Yeah. And remember, investment companies too, they pool their funds, from individual and institutional investors to provide them access to broader security market because they invest around the world. So, and that's why we talked about it. I'm not sure if this class, but when you have, say, a pension fund, you can invest in risky, you can invest in moderate, you can invest in low, or you can invest like me. I don't want nothing risky. I old, please. I want leave my money in no kind of risky nothing. The young people could invest in risky. Me, no. I just need that savings, that money there, give me that little good interest. But that's fine. The other person get 10% interest and I get 6%. That's okay. But me no invest in the risky investment, because guess what? I'm older. When you're young, you're able to do that because you have a lot of years to go. So you can take the chance, and a lot of times people take the chance, they get good returns. So the higher the risk, the higher the risk, the better the return. The low, I mean, if I ain't taking no risk, I expect to get plenty return. So the higher the risk, the more return. Yeah. And then we have the insurance companies. Insurance companies perform the same services that a bank do. They give loans. Um, and like we were talking earlier, that you'd find in the insurance company, you get a loan, you have insurance. So if you have those kind of insurance where you could borrow against it, you borrow against it, and you pay your loan every month. And then you have the insurance companies now too who do mortgage loans. They have compliance department. Before insurance companies, you don't have to go through all this KYC and making sure you tell the people this my passport, that's it, that's it. Now, when you want to take out an insurance, you have to have all your KYC documents. Everything have to be verified. Everything have to go through the compliance department before they can say yay or nay to you being approved to actually, and along with the medical, to actually say, okay, yeah, we grant you the insurance. So everything has changed from I knew it when I was younger. So it's a lot more, I guess, because of the Terrorist Act and the Corruption Act. So from 2000, so everything has changed now. So they do their due diligence to make sure that people are on the up and up. So they have to verify that, okay, you say you're Joe, you say you live here, yeah, I get your passport, I get your NIB, you have to fill out all these forms, sign them, so if something go wrong, you're held responsible. But like I say, insurance company do investment as well as as well as loans. They do everything. And like I say, most insurance with insurance companies, like I say, you get cash value. So you look and you look down the schedule, which most of us don't do. We just get the insurance. We don't read the fine print. And then at the end of the day, somebody decides that, oh, they commit suicide. You're looking at the company and saying, hey, where my money? They say, hold on, read. People think you don't get money at all if somebody commits suicide. But that's not so. Read the contract, it tell you a certain number of years if that happened. Yeah, you won't get paid. Yeah. And then you have some insurance company, I'm not sure people really know, but you have some insurance company that, just like in banks, they don't tell you the full story. So when you go for a loan, the bank say to you this, that, that. And like some bankers will tell customers the real deal. Some bankers don't. A lot of times they just say, I need to make the sale. And insurance company, I remember someone, a family member, they took out insurance. Their husband took out insurance, and because they were trying to do something, and they took out some insurance, and unfortunately got murdered. And so I think it was a year or two. And when she went to the insurance company thinking now that, oh, I get whatever he was insured for, and because he got murdered, they consider it, I'm not sure, accidental or whatever. Well, they told her, oh, he needed to have this insurance for 4 years before you can get the full amount. So we will only give you what he's put in. Have you all ever experienced that?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
know
right.
anyone?
Yes, I know someone who the same thing happened. And then like when they lost at sea, you have to wait 7 years before insurance consider them dead, and they could get paid.
Yeah. Well, they tell you 7 years. Yeah. When somebody lost and you find them, 7 years. But people could hide for 7 years.
Yeah, but it also depends too, because if it's like you said, he got shot, even though the policy may have been 4 years that they could have gotten the funds, they wouldn't have been able to, because that isn't unless they have accident. What is it? Second accident
Access,
benefit?
yeah.
Right, that's the only way they would have gotten the full
I
payout.
think they had all of that there, but like they told them, he had only put in 2 years and he needed 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she only got the money back what he had put in. Yeah. Yeah, secured loans. What do you think about when persons actually want a secured loan? What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good thing? When you take your own money and put it up and borrow against it?
I mean, some people say it doesn't make sense because they don't understand and they'd be like, why must I bring y'all $5,000 if I want to borrow 5,000? If I had it, I would have used it. But then again, when that is on fixed and we lend you the money against it, it also grows interest. And it's basically used as collateral in the event that you might have lose your job, you cannot make the payments, or you may have passed away.
But not only that, a lot of times people don't understand when it says cash secure, and a lot of people is not privy to it because I guess a lot of bankers don't educate people to it, so people don't know about it. Because I had one class and I was talking about it, and they was like, "What that is? We ain't know nothing but that." I look at it this way: if I have $10,000 and I want to buy a vehicle, um, I'm okay. So y'all say y'all will lend me. I can put up to 10, and y'all will lend me 9 or 9.5. I can put that 10 up, and I can borrow you on 9.5. Because guess what? It can come a day I can finish paying you all that 9.5, but guess what? I can have that 10 sitting in the bank with some interest growing on it, and I can have that car. People don't look at it that way. It isn't the fact that if I have the money, I just go and buy it. No. Liquid cash is something, if you have it, use it wisely. So if you could, why purchase a vehicle which depreciates? At the end of the day, you took $10,000 and you purchased that vehicle. When you say come down the road 5 years later, how much that vehicle worth? But if you would purchase that vehicle with the cash you had by putting the money on a fixed deposit and getting a cash secured loan, you still have that 10 in the bank and you have some interest. You got the car would already depreciate, but hey, you still got that money. That makes sense to me.
That's
People
why I
even do
like,
it when they purchase.
that's why I like the credit union, because when I bought my car and they say, listen, my car, 10,000, they lend me the 10,000 and I already have some money saved there. As I pay for my car, I still have to to make a deposit towards my savings, my shares. So as I pay my loan down, my shares going up.
Right.
And if I reach a certain point and I say, man, I tired of this loan, I just
You can use it.
Pay my loan with my shares and just leave
Yeah.
the rest there. And I just
Yeah.
continue saving.
Yeah, and you can do the same thing with a cash secured loan. But
Right.
people don't understand that because a lot of times bankers do not impart that knowledge to people to say, hey, you have all this money. Hey, why not just put it on a fix and borrow against it and get interest? You can pay us some interest, but we can still give you some back. So may not be big, but at least you still, at the end of the day, that cannot depreciate it. You got it you borrowed 9.5 from the bank. You finish paying them. That car value what? How much? A brand new car, the minute it drives off a lot, it depreciates 20%. That's why a lot of people don't buy new cars. So
And then every year you get your dividends on your money that you have saved.
right. So, and as I say, and every year, if you put that cash in the bank, you getting interest, interest earning on it. You just roll it over and keep rolling it over. But a lot of times people don't look at it that way. And here I say too, because bankers don't educate people to that extent. It's all about, I need to put this loan on the book. So they don't take the time out to educate the public. Some people know, and then you have some people who don't have the slightest idea. Because like I said, when I mentioned it in the business of banking class that I did, a lot of persons was like, what? I didn't know I could do that. Yeah. So it's just us really letting people know that they can do certain things. Yeah. Trust companies, as we know, what does trust companies deal with? We know trust companies, they pension.
Well, in my
They,
Pension and
Mhm.
retirement funds.
You're saying something, Mr. Pixel?
in my experience, I only dealt, well, in my experience, I saw that they dealt with like, well, some with savings, like you guys are saying, some with pensions and retirement funds. The most that I've seen, what try to gain an interest in me was like retirement. They had like retirement packages. I think one company, Leno, I believe, they did like do like retirement packages stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that's why I said I had some kind of experience with it.
Yeah, they have investments and all of that too. They do all of that. Leno do all of that. They do investment too. And they make their money from charging you for administration. They do wills and stuff like that. All of that they do because people need wills. People put money in trust for their children, so they act as like how people act as attorney, or they do that for they act as the trust agents for persons who want to put money in trust for their children if they don't have somebody who they could say, okay, I need this person if something happened to me to manage the trust for the these trust companies manages the trust for individuals. Yeah. And like anything, they're regulated too. And remember, don't forget the Securities Commission. They do a lot of regulating of investment companies, trust companies like that too. They do regulating them, and brokerage companies. Because remember, we have brokerage companies where we have like a RF have brokerage too. And most of these companies, investment and trust, they have brokerage firms. Yeah. Currency exchange. All right, I ain't talking no more. I need y'all to talk.
Okay, so with currency change, I see it says it's not making loans or receive deposits. Now I can space off pick up piece of experience, I could oversight a lot of this. So what I know about First Caribbean is that you could exchange currencies without a fee if you have an account. But if you
Okay.
don't have an account, there's a small percentage of charge.
Mm-hmm.
And within our institution, there is a currency exchange rate. It increases and decreases every day. And we make deposits, but this is not deposit, but I'm just saying, if you're exchanging anything, there is a certain fee or percentage that you pay. And so other institutions offer it as well. I can't remember the names of it, but they do offer currency exchanges. But it's basically getting like US currencies and stuff like that. Where you really deposit no money,
Yeah.
but you're
Just
getting it for travel
exchange.
or
Yeah.
something that the US.
Yeah. Because I could come and buy some Canadian money.
Nah, I know about the Canadian money now, because once
Yeah, man.
once they send it to us, that then tell the bank to test it.
Yeah, because I know when I was traveling to Canada, see the Royal Bank or First Caribbean. When I did go to First Caribbean, it said that they didn't have any. Royal Bank didn't have any. Everybody was just getting money to go to Canada, man. Yeah, yeah. But even in Canada, like when I travel all over the airport in Toronto, you had those exchange places where you could just go and exchange Canadian back to US or US into Canadian, yeah, or any currency you wanted it to change in, yeah. Okay, brokerage firms. We know brokerage firms, they buy and sell securities. A lot of times we have customers who say, boy, I have this portfolio that I have cable shares, I have Fidelity, I have Finco, I have Focal, I have Kalina, and they say, okay, now they tell their brokerage agent, okay, I just want to sell some Fidelity shares. So the broker, he would put the shares out there. Most of the time they have people on their waiting list who wants to buy certain company shares. So the broker would go out there, or call them the investor, and their investor go out there and they sell the shares for them. Yeah. And they can say, well, okay, Fidelity is saying it's $14.91. I want you to ask $15. Some people, because they actually want the shares, they will pay the 15, even though if you look at this X in the papers, they're only going there, open at 14.91 and they close at 14.91. But somebody said, okay, I'm willing to shell these shares, but I want 15. And sometimes they go to market for 15 and they get it, even though, like I say, the open and close is 14.91. They ask for 15 and they get it because people just want the company shares. Hey, I need some more Fidelity shares, or I need some more Focal shares. And J.S. Johnson shares is the number one ranking shares now. It's like $15.39, yesterday when I saw. So yeah, so they people have a Cable Bahamas, they have a wide range of securities in their portfolio. Yeah, so that's what happens with the brokerage firm. Anybody else want to elaborate further on what else related to
I just have a
brokerage
few,
firm?
I have a few questions about it though.
Mhm,
My first question intake is,
mhm.
but okay, like I don't really know much about it, so I'm just asking, like, if I want to go to find investments, so what you're saying is I can go to brokerage, to any brokerage company.
Yeah,
and-
like like I can say it's an investment company like Royal Fidelity, CFAL, Leno, all of those do that.
Okay.
Mhm,
And my next question is with these
mhm,
shares, right? So let's say because I'm interested in doing it. So
mhm,
if I go in, then let's say for that is $15. Is Josh just
mhm.
the $15 for right then and there, or is it $15 per month?
No, when you purchase the shares, right? Each share is worth $15. So you go to them and say, I want to purchase 50 shares. So times that 50 by 15.
Oh, okay.
Each,
So if I just
yeah,
want to buy one share, it's $15. Okay, I understand.
yes, one share is $15. Yeah, they could say, and as I say, a lot of times they'll tell you, oh, I have somebody who out there, they looking for shares. So it's easy once you go to them and say, you fill out all the papers, I want to sell these shares. They already have people on the waiting list who want shares. So it's just a person saying, okay, they'll ask you what you willing to accept. And you say, okay, it's 14.91 now, but I want 15. And you bargain for the 15. And a lot of times, according to the agent, they get it. They get the 15 for you. So you're selling 50 shares at $15. So you get the money, even though the market closed at 14.91 and open at 14.91, close at 14.91, but you got $15 for it. So you see every time you look in the papers, the shares it'll move. Well, Fidelity shares doesn't move up and down so much. One time it was 14.99 and then dropped back down to 14.95. Then it was 15 one time and it dropped down. As much as the shares trade on the market, it fluctuates sometimes. Yeah. The Fidelity
So
shares has
how,
been staying constant.
so now in terms of payment to the person who bought the shares, how is that calculated?
Well, if you bought the shares, well, apparently you'd have to, if you're not a customer, most of the times the customers who are really customers of the firm, like Royal Fidelity, they'd have actual customers who want to purchase those shares because they want more shares in their portfolio. They diversify their portfolio instead of just having cable. They want a diversified portfolio, so they would have cable, Bank of the Bahamas, Kalina, CFA. They just have different. They have J.S. Johnson, they have Finco. So they have all of these shares in their portfolio. So some shares are paid quarterly, some are paid monthly, And so dividends rather, so what they do, when you look at their portfolio, you'd be like, whoa, look at all the dividends they getting every quarter, and this is what they getting. Just like people who invest in central bank bonds. When you buy government bonds, you see, they tell you we pay the interest semi-annually. So you could assure yourself, and some people make good returns on those bonds they buy, government bonds they purchase, because sometimes you'll see them when you look at their dividends coming in $11,000, because when the bond the government bond is so much, so the return on it, and then some people put it in for 30 years and they get like 9-10% interest on it. Yeah, but they don't have to keep it there for that long, but they put it there to get some of that big interest. And they probably 10 years, they say, I don't want this no more. And they just cash it in. Yeah. Yeah. So same thing
Well,
with government bonds. Mhm.
I have one question on piggybacking on this question. What determines the price of a share? Is it the company's yearly profit, or is it's auditing, or is it a combination of both?
I
How
think it's a
financially stable the
combination
company?
of both, right? Because people look at all of that. People look at when you do your financials, and most company banks and stuff, they have to publish their financial at a certain time in the newspaper. They have to make sure it goes to central bank. So yes, they look at all of that. Hey, boy, my net income was way out there. My income, they look at your income. So what is your income to your spending? And they make a whole, hey, we make so much income on loans. Our income was $20 million. So if you see that in somebody's financial statement, you see their asset and liability, and you see what income their income is after all the expenses and everything, and you look at their income, you're going to look at it and say, yeah, that's a company I need to invest in. Yeah, I need some of that share. And you look at it because most banks and institution, they do it on a quarterly basis. So what happens? They be like, yeah, somebody who following it, like a Commonwealth Bank too. They make a killing. So they had to have a share split, their stock split, where they had to have a stock split because the shares, it valued so much, and so they had to do a stock split where it cut it in half. Yeah. So they do a stock split. Like if it was $30, they do a stock split. And so it becomes, it's more, but it's split into two. So they do a stock split. Yeah. But I don't know what the Commonwealth Bank seem to, since they did that, their shares has not been going up as much as it was before. Do you know anything about inside trading?
I
You
know
haven't
it's
heard of
illegal.
it? Yeah, but have you ever heard of somebody doing it here in our country?
No, ma'am.
We had a situation many years ago where it was inside trading with a Commonwealth Bank staff, and I can't remember if it was Clico, it was CFAL. I can't remember what company he worked for, the broker, and it was inside trading. Yeah. And I was a manager at a Commonwealth Bank, and it was a senior person at the brokerage firm doing the trading. He had inside trading. He was able to tell, he was able to purchase, when to purchase the shares for him, because it was inside trading. He knew because he was in management. Yeah. And I think they went to court. I couldn't remember. I think they didn't go to jail, but I'm thinking what happened, whatever money they made from it in excess, I think that had to be returned. And I don't want to call names, but yeah, it was a Commonwealth Bank, and I think it was Kalina. Was it Kalina Financials? I can't remember. Kalina or Clico, CFAL, I can't remember which brokerage firm, investment firm it was, yeah. But yeah, yeah. And I don't, there was a Commonwealth Bank manager. Anytime you want, go on the site and look up inside trading in the Bahamas several years ago with Commonwealth Bank. Yeah, you'll find the information there. And like I say, it's good sometimes to just because, a lot of times I know this because like I said, I've been in banking for so many years, so I know, yeah. Yeah, but like I
So,
say with,
so okay, let's say if I'm an employee of
mhm,
Bank of the Bahamas and I want to
mhm,
buy shares in Bank of the Bahamas, that
mhm.
it's impossible for me to do that.
No, it's not. It was inside trading because he tried to manipulate it by when he knows when the shares was going up. So he was able to tell the broker. So that's why they call it inside trading. Because if you
Okay.
know the shares going up, yeah, that's why they call it inside trading. Because he knew he had inside information which he tell to the broker. Yeah. Yeah, but
One
you could
more
buy
question.
shares. Mhm, mhm,
One more question. In terms of purchasing a share, what's
mhm,
the vetting process? Because I'm thinking about if I have someone that I know has illegal or ill-gotten funds and they need to clean this money,
mhm.
how do they go about purchasing shares?
But see, first you have to understand, you have to have an account with that actual company. They do, you remember me saying they do their due diligence now. So what they do, you have to do KYC documents and everything else. I can tell you when I gone to put up some money in a brokerage account, man, I was like, Jesus, want everything? I want all these papers I have to fill out here. They vet you and it has to go through compliance and it has to be approved before they even, like I gave them a check, but before they even put the check through, you have to be approved. Yeah. So you go through the vetting process, compliance vet you. Yeah. You have all kind of information that you have to fill out. Yeah. And you have all kind of you have documents that you have to bring to them. Yeah. Where the money come from, everything else. Yeah. Just like when you go to make a deposit in the bank, if it's a certain amount, they say to you, where you get it from. You need to see, oh, I draw it from Commonwealth Bank. Okay, bring that withdrawals information from them, or give me that check that come from them. Yeah, showing that you have a savings with them. So it ain't as easy as that trying to clean the money. You know, you have to still go through the vetting process. Because like I said, I had to, and they said it'll take 2 weeks before I hear back from them. So yeah, it's not
So
just
now,
you.
so now you're saying if I go into making an investment, I have to go through a vetting process as well?
Yeah, because you have to open an account. Remember that? You
Okay.
have to open an account. Just like with a savings, you want to get a loan, you have to open a savings account because they want to tie that to your loan so your loan payments can come out of that account, automatic transfer every month. Yeah. So you have to go through, like I say, since 2000, everything has changed. I remember when I first started working in the bank, Finco, I remember before drug was out there, man. Everybody is into this. They had this guy who used to come from Andres. I remember I went in my boss' office. I almost collapsed because all I saw on the floor was stacks of $150 bills. The whole office was just full. That's before 2000, before the money laundering and all those acts came into play. You could have just deposit whatever you wanted to deposit in the bank before that came. Yeah. And this guy from Andres used to come every month. And when I say money, money. Yeah. I was like, what the hell? Yeah. Like a central bank vault. Yeah. That's how much money he used to come with. Yeah. Yeah. But after the money laundering act came into play here in the Bahamas in 2000, that was it. Everything there was an act for something, act for this, act for that. So it was a whole lot of due diligence that had to be done. A lot of vetting had to be done. It's no longer you come placing that money bringing all our money. Nope, you have to show where that come from. Yeah. Just like if you want to send funds off, there's a certain limit that you could send without central bank approval. And then after that, you have to go to central bank and you have to say to them why you're doing this. And you have to really have proof why you're doing it. You're not just going to go there and say, I need to send $200,000 to my son, unless you could show it. Okay, my son is purchasing a home and I'm helping him purchase that home. So all the legal papers and everything, you'd have to share with central bank for them to give you approval. Because I think, y'all was saying, I think it's 20 or 15,000 now that you can send without central bank approval. But anything over, you have to get central bank approval. So if you want to send $200,000 to your son, you have to show, and you have to go to central bank and they have to approve. Once they're satisfied with what are you doing is legitimate, they give you approval, then you're able to send the funds to your son.
What about receiving funds in excess of 200,000?
Boy, I guess on the other end, that person over there, that their institution over there have to do the vetting. And I'm not sure here if somebody, I think so.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
show
something.
what the funds
Yeah.
are too.
Yeah, because I remember this guy who would want some money and gamble in it. Yeah, I remember. And he had to show something why they was putting the money on his account. Yeah. He had won something in the lottery away. Yeah. And he had to show that. Yeah. Yeah, but and then we come to competition, we know competition is there. Everybody has to make a quota because the banks are in competition. Not only the banks, all the different institutions are there competing, insurance, banks, Flash Cash, Easy Pay, Auto H&L, Cash and Go, everybody competing for the same money. So yeah, Greenleaf, everybody competing. So there's competition there. And all banks out there quota that loan officers have to make. So it's a doggy dog world because I am gonna undercut you. Hey, you have that loan at Commonwealth, they bring that loan over to Fidelity. Girl, I could give you a better rate. So, and that's what's happening out there. Yeah. Any questions or concerns? I gotta get some water. Something just keep tickling my throat. Hold on. Make me feel like I'm looking at COVID. I'm sure this just been tickled. Alrighty. Who wants to tell me about credit creation?
Now, I don't know too much about it because I read it and I was hoping that you would explain it to me thoroughly because I was reviewing it though. I really was reviewing it, and I see that it is something about the bank getting a certain amount of funds and lending out a certain amount of funds. I think I'm correct if I'm correct.
Yep.
And they store in a percentage amount for
That's the
safekeeping, I should
reserve.
say. Yes.
Reserve. That's the liquidity. Every bank has to have a certain percentage of liquidity. Like I say, I think here it's 15%. I remember when I did Cayman own was either 15 or 20%, a certain amount that the bank had to always have as a reserve. Their liquidity had to always be, this book said 10%, but I think here for us it's 15%. Yeah, but every bank has to have a certain reserve. And I think they use the deposits in the bank to measure what amount of reserve each institution has to have on hand. Yeah. But it's just like, okay, like a balance sheet. A balance sheet, say for instance, you have asset, you have liabilities. So for instance, like I said, depositors give the banks their money, and the banks take their money and give a loan with it. So say for instance, if you look at process of credit creation, you see the balance sheet of Bank B. You see where Bank B had and as you know, for the bank, a deposit is a liability because that's money they owe to the depositors. Even though the depositors put the money there, that's money they owe to the depositors. The loans is an asset for the bank because that's money that they lend, which they're going to receive interest on. So the deposit, they got the deposits from customers, and you see what they did? They kept cash, they kept the $90 in cash, but at the end they gave a loan to Z for 810. But at the end of the day, asset and liability has to equal. So you see, they have 900, the same $900 that the depositor would have deposited in the bank. They lend 810 to Mr. Ized for a loan, and they kept $90 for in the bank. They didn't spend everything. They kept that. Mr. Bextor?
Okay, I follow you. I just trying to make. Okay, so let's say. Okay, so let's say. I has a new bank, Bank of Joel, Bank of Joel Limited, new bank. You ain't got that much money because I know you need money to start a bank. You come to deposit is $900 on my account, on your account, right? So let me see if I get this. So I keep it 90. I take 90 for myself, right?
Because that's your 10% reserve.
Okay, so I take 90 for myself, right? I loan Bobby 810. But how can I be assured now? Because this costs me $900. How can I be assured that Bobby gives his
Go pay your loan,
$910 and then Bobby ain't paying $910? I Bank of Joel sitting there, just gotta try find some way to give Sherry her $9 back.
No, but see, that's why they say on the other page, each bank has to keep 10% reserve of cash.
Okay.
They have to keep 10% reserve of cash. So you see, they say a new deposit of RS 1,000 has been made with the bank A to start with.
Okay.
So they kept 10% of their reserve.
Okay.
And like I said, with all banks, and that's why I say what happened with Gulf Union Bank was they went in liquidation, and everybody who had money with them, some people might have gotten their money, but because they guessed they was in central bank wasn't doing what they, I guess that was so long ago that it wasn't in place like how it should have been. And so Gulf Union Bank just closed out with a lot of people money. Some people went to jail and all. And now I look at that person who was involved with that. He opened all kind of business. So who knows? Yeah, but people went to jail with Gulf Union Bank. Yeah, a lot of people lost their money. Just like we talk about with Clico Insurance, they got a lot of people to take their money out of different banks, retirement money, school fee money, and put it with Clico because they were offering better interest rate. Because they would say to you, I could give you 6. How can you give me 6% on my 50,000? But what do you have that's bringing in money to allow you to give me 6? You don't give loans. You don't do this. And we know with anything, you have to have some investment. You have to have some backing. You have to have some, especially with loans. If you're not giving loans and get no returns, how is it that you can give me this big 6% and you ain't getting nothing coming in? So a lot of people get fooled by that, and a lot of people lost a lot of their money. Same thing I told people on a different note with Bahama. When a lot of people left their jobs to go to Bahama and they said, okay, I go into Bahama, but hold on, Bahama, I have no customers coming in. They ain't got no tourists coming in. So how is it, will they be able to maintain, keeping paying you what revenue they have coming in? The hotel ain't open, but you left your job and you gone there, but the hotel ain't open. So what revenue coming in? That's all their money they're using. So you think how long they could be able to continue to pay you and the hotel ain't open? Gotta be some revenue coming in for you to be able to say, okay, yeah, I can take this chance. The hotel wasn't open. So you leaving your good job to go to somewhere unsecured because no revenue coming in. And I think a lot of people didn't look at it that way. The hotel ain't open, ain't no revenue coming in. How they can be able to keep you? How? And what happened? How many people lost their jobs? And that's the same thing with when we chase, a lot of times people don't sit down and think, and it's just today, oh girl, and like I say here again, officers, agents don't tell people the full story. They just want to get the money, so they just sell you what they think you want to hear. And what happens at the end of the day, you lose, because a lot of persons lose in CLECO. People still trying to get their money back. People still, the former prime minister told persons, oh, don't stop paying your insurance, pay your insurance. What happened? The people was fooled and they continue to pay. What happened? I think a lot of people still trying to get, some people got money and some didn't, you know. So Mr.
Whatever happened, what did happen to Citibank? Why they closed?
Citibank, oh, I don't know. That's where Scotia buy them out, remember? And Scotia bought them out. Scotia bought them out.
Oh, okay.
We still have Citibank, you know. Citibank is still
open.
there. Yeah, still open.
Okay.
Citibank still, but I know Scotia bought some stuff from them. Just like a lot of companies, they buy, say, like a Scotia Bank. A Scotia Bank had delinquent loans. Gateway Financial, Frankie Wilson bought their delinquent loans, be it 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, whatever, for I think $100 million. So that was Scotiabank. We didn't want to deal with this. They sell it to Gateway Financial. In Gateway Financial, a lot of persons say, oh, I don't want it. Y'all could sell the house. I can do something else. So Gateway Financial, I guess it was Frankie Wilson and a Jamaican company abroad, but that's how it happened. So they just the same thing. Like you have companies who sell security.
It's actually a Mexican company abroad.
Mexican. Yeah, I know you work the Gateway, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's what happens. And just like with Citibank, people, just like insurance companies, they would buy some different type of insurance. Banks, they buy some your mortgages, and that's what happens. You know, they buy it off. Yeah.
But what really happened with the mortgage portfolios after they are acquired, after they are acquired from Scotiabank, that goes into our collections department, and after a certain length of time for non-payment, that cycles into our real estate department, and it goes in on the market on our distressed property listing.
Yeah, because I saw one in the papers that said Scotiabank and Gateway.
Yeah,
they were going. Yeah, I saw that saying Scotiabank and Gateway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means now homeowner me sitting home with old money. And you trying to tell me I sitting down reading my newspaper and I flip page to page B and I see my house what I
No, man, you already know that.
No,
That don't just happen like that.
No, that don't just happen like that, because you have to go through our legal department, and you're properly served. Trust me, we have a lot of customers in there that comes in very mad. This happened, that happened. That's why I couldn't pay this. That's why I couldn't
But
do
they
that.
didn't come, before.
We have a lot of returned mail come
Mhm.
back on a weekly basis, trying to reach customers.
But that's why I say, and that's why I say, yes, a lot of times, yes, things happen, just like COVID happened. People lost their jobs. It's simple to just go in and say, okay, after you learn that, okay, Gateway take over and all the rest, and all, it's simple to just go in and say, this is my situation, but a lot of people is just duck. They duck, they just don't care. And like you said, at the end of the day, then they'll come in and say, oh, y'all trying to take my stuff. Yeah, but they
I mean,
just
most of
didn't.
the time,
Mhm.
a lot of them said they blame it on Scotiabank. They said they
Mhm.
already pay off this loan. They don't know what happened. Scotiabank called them and tell them their balance is zero, and they don't have the paperwork or no evidence to prove this.
Well, if you don't have the evidence, you can't say that. Yeah.
Exactly. That is why I cry every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I say, it's all over. And like I say, plenty people lost in their homes. A lot of people isn't even trying. Like some people have priorities wrong because they want to furnish out the house instead of saying, I have this thing to do. So like I said, with COVID, a lot of people just lost their jobs. And if you are a manager and your husband is a director and both of you lost your job, how could you pay a mortgage? National insurance wasn't paying you much, so you can't. And so I think banks has worked with people like that. Yeah, I think they have.
We've worked with
Yeah.
people as well because we have a COVID deferral for our mortgage
Okay.
clients. We have a COVID
Okay.
deferral where they
Okay.
could get it deferred for like 6 months or so, or up to a year.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Question, is this deferral plan still in place? Even
Oh,
though the country is rebounding?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that was that's a last year thing.
Yeah.
That's a last year thing. I don't, that's not in place anymore. But we had that for customers last year.
Well, Mr. Pickstock, that answered your questions. Because if you look on the process of credit creation, you'll see the same scenario I was telling you that follows true in the other scenario. You'll see if you look at the one under B, balance sheet, bank B, and you look at the one below that, you see bank A, bank B, bank C. You'll see bank A had 1,000 deposit, then bank B had 900, then bank C had 810. And then you'd go over and you'd see that the reserve, this is what they had to have for reserve, 10%, 10%. As you saw on the process of credit creation, every bank has to keep 10% of cash reserve according to the law. So you see, it shows you here, cash reserve, from the 1,000, they kept 100. From the 900, they kept 90. From the 810, they kept 81. So the reserve, so you'd see when you look at the deposit and the reserve, and you take the reserve, you add the reserve to the loan, you see we get what the deposit is. So
Yes,
it
ma'am. I
balances that back up. Yeah. Okay. So now we have any questions, any concerns about chapter 2, because we're supposed to be on chapter 3. If you look at my schedule. So chapter 3, like I said, deals with the function of money. Money. What is money? It asks you the question, what is money? It defines what money is. And then I said before, it breaks down money. It actually tells you the function of money, the commodity versus the flat money. And you see, I put some little US dollars there. And I don't know the one, so I put the US one. And then you'd have definition for M1, which is money. But it's broken down into, because not, some money supplies don't have deposit, demand deposit, checking account, negotiable order or withdrawal. Some don't. And then it'll show you a breakdown of money. Then you'll have definition for M2, and it also shows you the breakdown of M2. And these are very important for you to pay attention to, because you can always see these in exams. And like I say, I will not blind slide you. I will tell you exactly how or what to expect on the quiz next week. But you have to read this section to be able to answer the questions. But like I say, I will send you all something to help you all with your studies for the quiz. Okay, and I'm also going to send you something to go online and review. It's like a slide, it's like a video. So you're able to go through it and you'll get a better understanding of what money is. It shows you how the circulation of money, how it goes. Me having it here just written down, you may look at it and you may not fully understand, but when you're able to watch the videos, you'll be able to see exactly how the money flows, talk about monetary policies. You'll be able to see everything in the slides that I'm going to, I'll try to send it to you all tonight. And then by Wednesday, I'll try to send you all a breakdown on exactly what the quiz is gonna look like. Okay? So y'all won't have no surprises. And it's a short chapter, just like chapter 2 is a short chapter. It's a short chapter. Okay?
And you said that's chapter 1 to 3?
Yes, ma'am.
The quiz. Okay.
But it's a short chapter, and then I'll give y'all an assignment, because you have to make up the points. As you see, 10% for quiz. So, and I'm not gonna give you a whole lot of quiz, 10% for quiz, 10% for assignment. I won't be giving you a whole tray load of assignment just for 10%. Yeah, and you'll see the midterm carries 30%, and you'll see that the final is 50. And I have on the last 2 chapters in the book, they dealt with actually COVID, talking about COVID. So I am gonna get some information related to the actual Bahamas, what national insurance paid out, stuff like that, what the feeding program paid out, stuff like that. So I'll have that for you, so we can also compare it to the handout that I have in the back of the book. Okay, dealing with COVID. And as we know with COVID, because this is something that was put together, as we know with COVID, the bottom line about it is that unemployment, everything happened in the Bahamas. Yeah. So any questions, any concerns regarding the quiz next week?
So chapter 3 ends with the process of credit creation, correct?
No, that's chapter 2.
That's chapter 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we didn't finish chapter 3.
No, that's why I need y'all to go over chapter 3. Chapter 3 is very short. It's just talking about breakdown of M1, breakdown of M2, M3. And like I said, I'm gonna give y'all the site to go to watch the video. And y'all will be able to see. And then I talk about monetary policy here in the Bahamas. I talked about the Monetary Policy Committee and the overview of the financial sector, service sector in the Bahamas. I brought it to the Bahamas. Yeah. Okay. But like I say, that's it. The chapter is very short. It's just being able to say, this is M1. Checking accounts, deposit accounts, M1. When we look at M2, we say, what is M2? M2 is a cash and check deposits, and they call it as well as near money. So we know M2 has near money in it. So like I say, it's quite simple. It's just taking the time to reviewing it and being able to say definitions. And once you watch the video, you'll be able to understand it even more. Active money, definition of supply of money, you know, and the history of supply. Yeah. But like I said, I'll give you all a brief overview of what the quiz will look like. So y'all will be fine.
How will the quiz be taken?
Well, I have to speak with Miguel because usually Miguel used monitor Mr. Pratt. He monitors the exams for me, but if he picks me up so I could monitor it because I'll be able to watch all of y'all take the exam. So if he able to allow me to do it, I will do it. Yeah, but he's been doing it for me. I'm invigilating the exam online for me. He was doing it. So I'm going to speak with him tomorrow and see if he'd allow me to actually do it. And if he does, I will be doing it. Yeah. Only reason why I never used to like invigilate, even when we had face to face, I never invigilate my exam because when I go once or twice, everybody was Miss Smith question. I said nope. And so I stopped. So I don't invigilate my exam. But this one online, I'll speak with him and see what he says. If he can hook me up so I can do it, I will do it. Yeah. But take the time out to look at chapter 3. And like I say, this is where reading comes into play. And I'll know if you read because chapter 2, y'all had me talking now. So chapter 3, y'all will watch the video. Because this video, it's a total breakdown of money, how money works. So if you watch the video, you can, you know, just follow through with it, with what I give, and you'll be fine because the video breaks it down. Talks about central bank, talks about the monetary policy. And so I'm going to try to get that to you tonight. Yeah, and like I say, by tomorrow, I'm going to give you all an overview of what the quiz will look like. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions, any concern? And y'all please read, man. Y'all, that's why I keep having to go drink water. Y'all got me talking. We talk with this. I tell you all, when y'all come to class, I expect you all to, you know, I mean, it was better than the last class, but I hope that
we're getting there.
Yeah, chapter 4 is better. Chapter 3, y'all have to do it. I won't be there to say this, that. Like I said, I'll give y'all an overview of what the quiz will look like. So y'all will know that. So it's just up to y'all to study and take it in. Okay.
So we ain't gotta come to school. You ain't gotta come to school to the quiz.
You know, it's taken online, just like we talking.
All right.
Miguel just look it up where you can see if anybody looking in their book. I'll be right here looking to see if you are looking in the book. Yeah.
Okay. Good night. We
Good night.
finished?
Yes. Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.